And we're now live. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and others. And yes, I know others are out there. Um, we're dispensing with showing the hookup of the Pixel because almost everybody knows how to connect up a USB cable to a powered hub. There's no sense in showing that. Besides, I've got everything buried behind the Pixel. Now, I am going to switch and show you what the Pixel looks like. We'll go up here into the camera and we're going to change this and say save. And as you can see, that is what the pixel screen looks like. It's absolutely stunning sitting here looking at it. And I don't know how much of that comes across to somebody with a monitor with less resolution than what the pixel's got. But anyway, that's the new pixel. And if you have questions about it, I'll be happy to answer them. But what I wanted to get to was this thing about timestamping. Timestamping is tedious, particularly if you're having to watch the video, listening to what they're saying, and if something is said is important, you either have to pause it or take it back and get the exact time and type it in and everything. I'm going to show you a way that you can get an entire timestamp transcript that apparently has been able, to be gotten through YouTube for some time. I just discovered it the other night. I don't know how many other people may know about it. But anyway, I'll show you how it works. And it's real easy. Now, I'm going to do a screen share. And it'll go all cattywampus and everything. And we'll go here, I think. Present to everyone. Yes. Okay. Now we're going to go over here. What we want to do is get to my YouTube channel. Let's see, let me take this down. Go over here. Expand this. Go here and click YouTube. Now, is anybody able to see my screen, my YouTube channel?
Because yeah, I can see it.
Okay, all right. What you do is you go to my channel, or go to your channel, whichever. Go to Video Manager. Now, this QuickTime Stamp demo, that's the one I created to show this. So what you do is you go to the video, and when it starts playing, I'm going to mute it so it doesn't do anything. You come down here to where it says Add, Share, More. Click on the More. Click on Transcript. It will give you a complete transcript of the entire video, almost minute by minute. To get the entire thing to what we want to do, you run the thing all the way over so it's got all of the comments. Okay? You go down to the very bottom, you highlight that whole thing, and then you right click on it, and you say copy. Okay? Then you can come down here, do a right click, and say paste. Okay? Then you say post. And look at there, you've got a timestamp for any place in that video. Now what you want to do is while you're making the video, if you are changing subject, you want to have some sort of keyword to trigger on, because then you can use the find command to find that space in the video and it'll give you a timestamp. For instance, if I would put in the word agenda, I could go here, hit Control F. The little find button will come up in here and we will say basically. We're going to search for basically. And it's saying 0. Why is that? Why is it not finding it? It found it before. Okay. I'm not Oh, maybe it's because this thing is still going. Let's stop this and see. Oh, no, it's because I had common basically. We have to delete some stuff. There we go. All right, now basically, if you look up here right in the corner, it tells you that it's mentioned twice. There's one, and there's the other at 19, and this one, it says that's one of two, two of two. Wonder why it's saying two of two and it's still at 19. Read more. Okay, I don't understand this. I don't understand this. But here's my point. Once you get all that, you can go in here if you know that at, say, a minute and 23 seconds, okay? We'll go right in here, go up, put 1:23. Now, if you had your keyword, which would be basically what we're saying, and we'll say save, is basically at 123 and basically at 119. So if I'm giving a lecture here, and say I use the word timestamp, after I get all this, all I have to do is go back, search for timestamp. It'll tell me there. And then all this intervening junk that I don't want, I can just do it and do a Control X, take it out. I highlighted too much. Yeah, let's take between here and there. Okay, between the two of them. Say Control X. Why is it not deleting it? Obviously, I have messed up. I'm going to quit screen sharing. This is bugging me now. It worked perfectly. I'm going to stop. And all right, I'm back. It worked perfectly before. But the idea is you can copy that whole transcript. If during your conversation in the live Hangout you mention a specific word, you can say our next subject is whatever, and then you can go back after you copy that, search for that word, delete all the junk in between, and you can get a timestamp of the agenda as it goes down. You don't have to sit there and listen while you're trying to, copy or anything. So basically, that's my clue. And if anybody's got any questions or anything, I'll be happy to entertain them.
I'm running a little behind here.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Am I working?
Yeah, you're working.
Yeah, you're working.
Oh, I know why, because I got the mic on the camera instead of on the lav. Okay. Anyway, so there's a way to turn on auto transcripting of a video?
It's there automatically.
I haven't seen
and
it.
I don't know how long it has been there. If you go to your YouTube channel, you know where you get it says add, share, and more. If you click more, there's a drop-down menu, and transcripts is there. And so all you've got to do is click that transcript button, and it brings up all the transcripts, minute by minute or every 2 minutes or something, sometime. And you just have to copy. Yeah, you just copy that, and then you can paste it into the comments on that video and get a timestamp of the video. And like I say, if you have mentioned a keyword and you want to make like just a regular, not that detailed a timestamp, like if you're talking about one subject, you can say, okay, we're going to switch to whatever that word is. Then when you copy and paste that in, you can search for that word, delete everything before it, go down until you get your next subject, and you can do a timestamp of an hour video in 10 minutes instead of having to listen to it and try and type, look at the bar going across and determine what seconds it was said and everything. It's a real time saver.
That is really cool. It really is. I was just looking at it on one of my videos. That's something else.
That is slick.
Yeah,
I
and
can take and put this on the website on the pages that I put the videos.
yeah. And I don't know how long it's been there. I ran across it day before yesterday, and it just sort of.
Well, I knew. Several months back, I saw something about transcripting being added, but I didn't know how to access it. It never dawned on me to click the word more. I mean, that was
would be too easy.
That wouldn't make sense. You know, why would I possibly think of something that simple?
Yeah,
We're talking Google here, after all.
Well, when I first found it, I discovered it on one that I had turned on closed captioning. Okay. And I found that, and I thought, okay, well, maybe it's on the ones that you close caption. But then I went back and looked at an old one that I hadn't closed captions, and the transcript for that was there. And I thought, when did this happen? You know, of course, like I say, I don't play on the YouTube side a lot.
That's fantastic. You go in, and for the areas you're not worried about timestamps, you could putting it on your website. Just delete the timestamp so that it's just transcribed.
Yeah, but now.
And then if they want them to be able to jump to that point in.
Yeah, but you do have to proofread the transcriptions because they are awful. Mm-hmm. They are as bad as the closed. Well, in fact, they are the closed captioning, basically.
Well, it's still better than me having to listen and type out that whole show or pay somebody to do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know.
I mean, for example, if I have a friend of mine that I gave him a computer and he wanted to know what he could do for me to kind of pay me back because he's in straits. And I said, well, when I figure out how I want to go about it, you can transcribe and annotate for timestamps the videos. Well, now I don't have to feel I'm taking advantage of him because he can go in, do a correct spelling check and stuff like that. He can listen to the video by 2x or whatever if he's concerned with it, and go in and provide me with a Google Doc that I then later put in, do the finish editing and put it on my website.
Yeah, and the neat thing is, when you've got that, you can be listening to it and editing it while you go, so you've got a completely finished, proper thing when you're finished, and then you can go back and post the correct thing instead of all the incorrect stuff and make that public, But that opens up to so many possibilities.
It simplifies the timestamping process exponentially. It really does.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So I've got a long video, and I want to splice some of it, okay? Mm-hmm. I can use that to pinpoint where I want to do my splicing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Yeah. So I can say, hey, this is Andrew asked me a question. Aha, that's where I want to start the splice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, boy, that.
And you've also got a transcript of it once you do the final editing to make sure it's captured the phraseology correctly.
Oh, that'll help a whole lot.
Oh man, that's day and night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means you ain't got to sit and listen to an hour video.
Yeah, when I stumbled across it, I thought, oh boy, this is an eye-opener, because, like I say, I don't know how long it's been there, but it sure is going to be a help.
Yeah, really. Yeah. You want to see something I've been playing with?
Sure.
I've had this for a while. I just hadn't done anything with it. You see the painting behind me back there? Over here on the, let's see, let me get my camera right. Back there. See the picture back there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been capturing it using the actual Logitech camera software for video with muted audio. And since I was gifted a used copy of Adobe Premiere CS3 along with the rest of the goodies in CS3 ages ago, I've started playing again. I haven't edited in 20 years. And the neat thing about it is it comes back pretty easy. Open a project. Let's open that project. And I guess it would help if I shared you. You see what I was doing, yeah?
It probably might, yeah.
Unless you want us to close our eyes and visualize.
It's just blind guesses. What do you need? You know. Okay. There we go. We'll share that one. Then we'll jump over here. As you can see, I've been taping the video.
Oh, cool.
Creating the, and the neat thing about it is with Adobe Premiere, you see how it's got the micro time management?
Uh-huh.
I can take this whole thing. I don't need to complain about that. I can take this whole thing, compress the video before I upload it. I can go in and add any special sounds I want.
Oh, wow.
I've got audio transitions if I want to crossfade. But here's the thing, is I can do video effects. I can adjust the screens, blur and sharpen, color correction, different things like that. And I can also go in and do video transitions to where when I've paused and where I go in and then I take my little razor blade here like this, and I go in and decide I want to take out this section of video right here to make it fit right. I've got transitions I can add to it. And then now somebody can fast forward watch me do a painting.
Huh.
Okay.
You're going to kind of be like that guy with the curly hair who used to be on public television.
You're thinking of Bob Ross. And
yes.
All I can say to that is yes and no. Let me stop sharing. All I can say is yes and no. He uses a technique that I've tried. I don't approve of it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's any worse than the way I'm doing it. I'm saying is Tim can't do it that way.
Right.
It's not your thing. Look right. It doesn't. The finality doesn't right. And I'm old school. I've been painting for almost 50 years with oil paints.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The premise on that technique, and most of the instructors that are teaching oil paintings today are using this technique and teaching it, is what they call wet on wet. So as you bring your layers out on the oil paint, you're actually thinning them down, making them thinner. Well, the old axiom with oil paints, when you're using true oil painting, has always been fat over lean, which means the heavy paints are up top. I have a painting here that is a prime example of not letting the underlayers dry enough. Now, if you see a picture of it, you won't notice it. If you see the painting itself, you're going to think I did the technique deliberate because of the structure, because of the way this particular media crackled and looks like I created a texture there. But I know that I screwed up. Based on the technique I used.
200 years from now, no one will know.
But that's just it. The principles I use for painting are probably based more on the 200-year-old technique. The new technique, and there's nothing wrong with it. We don't have 100 years or 200 years of longevity testament to this style of oil painting yet. Is it entirely possible that, like acrylics, it's ever bit as strong a foundation? Yeah, but I can't do it. Mm-hmm. The odd part about it is I can use those same medium that they used to prepare the canvas to seal my canvases so that I get the same effect as if I was using oil-based gesso, which I can no longer get.
John Brown and Michael Daniels, please forgive me for issuing late invitations. I was stuck over and couldn't get back. I had the screen buried. I sent them, so we'll wait for you.
They'll be here. They're laughing at us. You know that.
And Mark Burris is on mobile.
Oh, okay.
He typed in the chat box. He's on mobile.
So he may or may not join us.
Right. He's depends which way the wind's blowing.
Well, it depends on the mobile too. Back when my tablet worked functionally well, I would have used it because it had a front camera. Mm-hmm. Until the cat dropped it. Once they damaged the crystal inside under the liquid crystal, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
But with my phone, the camera's only on the back side of it. So for me to join a call like this on my phone versus my old tablet, it's not practical for me. And depending on the type of phone he has, it may or may not be the same scenario.
Yeah.
So how you been, John?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, all things considered. I'm not as busy as I should be, but
No one is.
it's well, no, it's more of a case of the not busy as I should be is my fault.
Ah, well,
That painting should be finished,
okay.
or at least 90%. But the last couple of 3 days here, I've just, yeah, and I just, okay, well, the only one's got the rush on it really is me, so.
But don't you think we go through those cycles?
Yeah.
Yeah, that we just...
Some businesses are a little more equitable to it. You know, then I've got other things that have been added to my plate, and I don't know how much that's distracting me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do my painting, I get into a certain zone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a creative zone that you get into that we all get into depending on what we're doing, but apparently some artists enter it deeper, more like a monk's transcendence zone. And I know I can get in there because I've scared the hell out of home health care nurses over it.
Okay.
Well,
is a thing Michael just posted into the event page about how to edit and add transcripts to your YouTube video.
It's probably one that okay. That tells us how to do the rest of it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Is Michael not going to join us because of baseball or what?
I don't know. I know that he has posted on the event page, but I don't know exactly where he is or what he is doing. and this early, it's 8. He may have just finished baseball and on his way home, or he may still be at the ballpark. I don't know. Yeah. And
well, he's saying 7:04 Central Time. He's saying he's present. So he and John Brown both.
Yeah, and I didn't notice that until a little later because I was running this thing full screen and didn't have the event page open. Now I do, and then I had it open, and for some reason it kept wanting to add my acceptor thing and 3 or 4 other communities when I was trying to send them invitations. And as soon as I delete those communities, the share button would go away.
Is Michael in the chat over there?
Michael has posted twice to the event page.
I understand that, but is he in the chat for this particular Hangout over in Hangout Messenger?
Oh, I don't know that there is a Hangout Messenger. I hadn't even looked.
Yeah,
at that.
when you do this, it automatically kicks the Messenger as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just whether or not you have it enabled on your machines as one of the default settings about it. What I was thinking is you could just paste the link in there.
Okay, no, in the message it's just you and me and Mark and John. It's just the 4 of us.
Well, I'm showing 2 unknowns is why I asked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I'm just showing the 3 of us, Andrew, Tim, and me.
Yeah, and I'm showing Andrew, Mark, John, unknown.
And the unknowns are probably Michael and John.
And Mark ran away or dropped offline, one or the other.
Yeah, he's been coming in and out since about 5 minutes before we started.
Right. But, you know, sometimes the invites inside the Hangout don't work. Like I didn't get my Hangout notification except through, oddly enough, I didn't even get it through the Hangout app. I got it as a notification. Oh, Michael's here. He's eating.
Eating.
Okay. Do you need the link, Michael? If you do, we can just paste it into the chat here.
There's John Brown.
John. Okay, that's good.
Evening, John. How's John Brown? Oh, Michael's here.
Eating.
Okay. Stop. He's got the HOA playing in the background. Chat here.
There's John Brown.
Okay.
Evening, John. How's John Brown?
Good.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can hear you fine. John, you said you couldn't copy and paste that automatically generated transcript.
You got the HOA playing in the background.
I have found that if you highlight it, you can't use Control-C. What you have to do is you highlight it and then do a right-click and choose Copy from that. And then you can take it wherever you want to, and you can do a right-click and choose Paste. But for some reason, the regular copy-paste doesn't work, and I don't know whether that's because I'm on a Chromebook or whether that's part of the YouTube thing or what.
Yeah, it could be deliberate.
You can't use Control-C. What you have to do is you highlight it and then do a right-click and choose Copy from that.
I can't even highlight it.
Then you can take it wherever. Oh, really?
I've not finished. I mean, I've played with it all of like 3 minutes.
Okay.
I can, on a desktop PC, I can right-click and copy. I don't know if I can do a Control-C, but I can tell you real quick. I can Control-C and Control-V with it as well.
Okay, because I can get Control-C and V to work. I can highlight it, but I have to do the right-click thing. But like I say, that may be a Chrome.
It may be a it may be a operating system difference.
Yeah. I'm trying to find out where Michael.
Michael said he was eating. John, you're playing back the video for the live event, and your sound is not muted on the live event that you're streaming to you.
There. Okay. Hang on, Terry. I'm sending you an invite.
Yeah, I shut down about 7 windows, Tim. Sorry about that.
Having fun tonight with Windows, are we?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I was in the. When you're able to highlight that, are you in the YouTube?
Yes, I'm in the YouTube interface.
Let me finish the question, Tim, before you answer it for me.
Yes.
The first thing I did is I went to my YouTube account. I opened up my videos. I didn't necessarily go into Video Manager. I fired up one of my videos. I was able to click the More button and pull transcript, but from that screen I could not highlight it. I followed Michael's link, and basically what it was saying is that you can type in a transcript. I went back to see if I could find another way to cut and paste. So far, no luck. Those of you who are doing it, are you doing it from Video Manager?
No.
Just the viewing screen?
Just the view screen.
Yeah. The way I did mine is I just went to my channel, picked a movie or video, hit More so that it select a transcript, and then do a copy and paste. With Windows PC, I can do both. Were you able to invite Terry? If not, I can. Yeah, I can screen share that. Let's see if I figure it out. There we go. That's handled. Okay. I'll screen share and show you what I'm doing on a PC. How's that, John?
Well, I'm on a PC, and I'm Okay, now I can do it. For some reason, I wasn't able to do it before. Got it. Okay.
And for me, I don't know whether it's an operating system difference or what, but I can do Control-C and Control-V, or I can do a right-click copy once I highlight.
Yeah, the highlighting was what was stopping me, but it's working now. I don't know what how I managed to back myself into a corner.
Evening, Terry.
Hi, Terry.
Hey, Terry.
I know when I first started, I wasn't putting the cursor down at the end of the comments, at the end of the transcript, because if you start at the top and come down, it'll tend to like try and copy the whole page. So I started at the end and did back up to the top, and then it just highlighted just the transcript and left the rest alone, and then I could do it.
I actually selected only part of the transcript itself and was able to pull it, Andrew.
Yeah. Well, actually, the first time I did that, I put my cursor there and I did a Control-A for all, and I thought it would just get the transcript box, but it didn't. It picked the whole.
Probably grabbed the whole page.
Yeah.
Because Windows would possibly the browser recognized it as Control-All being the whole page, including the video and the side stream and everything.
Eating, so that's why he's not here yet.
Right. So how's Terry tonight? We haven't heard from him tonight. That's odd. Heather's not here to mute him. But she's doing a good job of keeping him quiet.
I don't know if you can hear us from the look of his face.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he can hear us. He can hear us.
He's hearing us. He's playing his mute games again, aren't you, Terry?
All right, I don't know if you can hear me now. I may have to leave and come back in.
Are you playing with voice meter again?
Can you hear me? Yeah,
yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. I had things set up all funny.
So were you making my mistake of not having the lav mic on or the power switch on the microphone, or were you playing with settings and voice meter?
Settings all day. So.
So you've been playing Harry Carey today.
Yes, totally, absolutely mad settings. In fact, I can't believe that you can see my wires and stuff. Good grief. This thing must be falling down over on my head.
You broke a clip somewhere on the ceiling, that's all, Terry. Just worry about it tomorrow when you're doing maintenance.
It was not in the picture.
I don't know what you're doing, but you're showing us more and more of that cord.
And I don't know. This seems to have. So anyway, I'm trying to keep everything out of the picture, but it's not working. Yeah, this is odd. I didn't have any shadow before. What did I do and mess myself up? I had no shadow before. Now I have a shadow. You got me. Oh well. Anyway. Probably wasn't sitting this close. Yeah, I've been playing with wires all day. You wouldn't believe how crazy my desktop looks right now. Well, I can show you how crazy my desktop looks right now.
Filter pan of the camera? It should be quite easy.
Let's see. Looks like screen one. That should be it. Okay, I just had to close a couple things. 1 second. Shrink this. Shrink that. There you go. This is what my screen looks like right now.
Oh my God.
Yes, I have a reverb unit all queued up. I can bring it in any time and space you guys out. I imagine. Yeah.
Good.
And, so, yeah, it's and a reverb. I got a second mic hooked up for doing flute that has the reverb on all the time, and it's muted right now. There's my thing. So there's the second mic muted, but it's it's just for the flute. Here, I'll see you.
Hello, everybody.
So there you go. And this thing, what this purpose of this thing is over here, I'll reset it. It shows the it shows my levels, and I'm trying to show what this oh, what do they call it? It's trying to show how my how broadcast compatible my signal is. And I've already gone over a couple of times here. It's supposed to go no lower than minus 13 and for broadcast. So I'm testing to see, hey, do I have broadcast ready settings? Plus, you know, HOAs, especially that studio mode, really, really likes that low levels, under 12, you know, under minus 12. So I thought, well, I got this meter, I may as well hook it up and see what it does. So there you go. Isn't that clever? And oh, these are free strips from the guy that made Voice Meter. And I brought those in using this free thing that he gave us that lets you hook up those strips. These are actually DirectX strips. And so over at Voice Meter at the bottom you can find these freeware items, and he's got this little item here, down here, this rack thing, and the VB strip tool. And that's all it's the free DX thing he provides that goes into there. But
so when are you posting your video tutorial on the addition of those?
Oh, soon. Like I was going to do it tonight, actually. But then I realized Tech Tuesday was tonight, so I could procrastinate it. No,
You're not going to get away with. You're not going to get away with using me as an excuse. I'm sorry.
But the neat thing about having the second mic already hooked up is that I've got this compressed just right for the flute, so I can play high notes and not overwhelm everything. And you know, it's a completely different setup than I would want for voice. And the first strip is set up for voice, with a little more treble EQ and a little bass, you know, nice rounded mid-range and bass. And so it's really really nice to have those strips, because it's just like having a mixer board, you know, a fancy mixer board. Also, you'll notice that I have my two mics on separate inputs, even though they're both coming in through my Focusrite. ASIO input left 1 and ASIO input right 2. So even though I have two inputs on my my unit, before this new update to Banana, all ASIO devices came in as stereo units into one slider. So you got both the left and right came into one slider. He now has it where you can go in and set right here. You can set it to patch the ASIO inputs to strips, so up to 3 strips right now. So since you have 3 hardware inputs, you can have a ASIO device with like a 4 in, 4 out type thing, and get 3 of them with dedicated strips right in Voice Meter now. So I have my left set to mono, and with its own dedicated volume, and the right set to mono, the other mic set to mono with its dedicated volume strip. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, so, nice new improvements.
If you can find a way to complicate it, Terry, you're definitely doing an excellent job of making it look more difficult than it has to be.
Well, no, it's not more difficult than it has to be. It's more.
No, I said make it look like. I understand what you're doing here, but I can see where your screen would scare the devil out of somebody.
Yeah, me. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why
Devil just ran in the corner. Okay.
You have to.
When I do the Udemy class, it will be very baby steps oriented, where just like I had to learn one thing at a time. That's because you're getting the whole story. You're getting weeks of study in one.
Like a life support system.
The thing is, you've got to be sort of a tech head to even be interested in learning Voice Meter. If you're not interested in technical stuff, you're really not going to be playing with Voice Meter to begin with.
Well, if you're not interested in sound.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on what quality of sound you're willing to settle for, I think, is more where Terry's coming from.
Yeah. Like this mic, to me, this mic sounds just fantastic now for voice. I didn't like it, the thinned out manner that it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I can make it that way just by unchecking these sends. These are the two inserts that are sending to this whole patch bay in here. So this patch bay, this is that FL Studio free patch bay thing that I have a video on how to get it. And but these are what send to it. So there, now I'm just the microphone raw, okay, with no changes. So and this patches in the EQ strip and the compression.
Yeah, you definitely get the richer tones through voice meter.
Yeah.
The more full body is I think what John is trying to say.
Like this is just plain old voice meter, no change, but it's already good. It's already darn good. Bring in now I brought in this strip, and it allows me to add some compression, some high-end compression, good compression. This compressor in here is mediocre because it doesn't let me set the threshold and ratio manually. They're just kind of tied together as I increase this thing. So, so I don't like the compressor very much.
Yeah, I've played a little bit with the original, the non-pro version of voice meter, and I definitely do like the mixer capability of it. Part of me is wondering if maybe with everything else I'm trying to do, maybe this machine doesn't have the horses needed to do it right.
I don't know.
But, and then there's my lapse of memories, like remembering that every time you change something, the register in memory changes, so it doesn't find the same registration address for the USB port.
Oh, you change your hardware, your inputs. Well, you just go and reset that, though. That's not too bad. I'm always, and if you unplug stuff while voice meter's turned off and plug it back in again later, sometimes it works out okay. It doesn't get too confused. As long as voice meter was off when you unplug the stuff. But anyway, I'm going to do it. So I'd like to bring people through where they can get access to some of these cool free tools. To me, just having that strip that gives me gain control, EQ with treble, mid-range, and bass. It gives me and a compressor with adjustable threshold and ratio, and with auto makeup built in. I mean, it's so feature-rich, and it's free. It gives it away. It's like, wow, what a world we live in.
Yeah, because my serious exposure to sound, I literally used a mixer board with anywhere from 4 to 12 different knobs for just one channel that I can tweak and tone and everything.
Sure.
So I can see where like that strip you're using may be putting it into an environment I'm more familiar with working with on physical hardware.
Yeah, it feels more like at home. So that's why I invested in that voice meter Harrison Mix Bus program for my mixing unit. Because it's I invested in that mixing unit, Harrison Mix Bus, $39, best investment I ever made, because it's all channel strips. So set up just like an analog system with your compressor right on the strip, all your EQs right on the strip. You don't have to load in all these plug-in windows. The thing that looks scary about this screen you saw is that there's too darn many things open. It's just a mess. Harrison Mix Bus makes it so it's all in one place, but unfortunately, there's no such tool for that for doing HOAs, or videos. But voice meter gives me its best darn access to these basic tools to be able to add reverb, and I could add other features too, but man, just having the reverb is awesome.
Yeah, depending on what you're doing, it definitely has its place. And to not have it for some things, especially the way you're doing your variety show, it would definitely be limiting to not be able to access some of that.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a nut for getting it sounding. So when I saw that, when I remembered, I forgot completely that I had the downloaded his freebies, because I went and looked at his freebies, earlier this week, and oh man, I already downloaded that stuff. Let me go take another look at that, and I downloaded it and didn't really play with it. And I said, no, you can't believe he gave us this for free. Unbelievable. The guy's such a pro programmer. He's an audio. That's his whole thing is audio programming. So that's what I like about the people at Harrison Mixbus too. Their original business was and still is making analog boards, gigantic analog boards that interface with digital stuff. But Killer, the Thriller album was mixed on their stuff. I mean, all kind of REO Speedwagon and all these old greats, Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones, all mixed their albums using their equipment. So they decided to make a purely digital version of their thing, and it's normally like $200, and they dropped the price to $39 to increase their plug-in sales. So it's sort of like selling you an inkjet printer so they can sell you the ink, and that they give you the Harrison Mixbus program for only $40, and then they sell you the plug-ins. But I always wait for a sale for the plug-ins, so I've gotten them pretty cheap. But
his secret is out.
But it's great having that kind of a thing, a real mixing thing. I don't think you'll see any videos on that stuff though. It's still too esoteric. I don't think there's that big an audience for the Harrison Mixbus system. I can't tell, but it doesn't feel like it to me. Maybe on Audio Pros. When you go to their forum, you see a lot of people that are seasoned pros using it, and but it still seems like a very, very narrow niche audience. Maybe that's what I should be thinking about as a narrow niche audience.
Especially looking at Udemy, your potential there is definitely, because the more niches you can target on, the more apt your tutorial online education environment is going to be used. So yeah, you can kind of an everybody type class where everybody shows up for Art 101 or Music 101.
Right.
And then there's the Art and Music 501 or something before they finish their senior year or their doctorates or masters or whatever. That's kind of where you probably want to be taking stuff like that.
Yeah, the real
with what you know and with what you play with, you have the potential of handling that spectrum like that in different areas. So I see it as a prime opportunity for you. That's the word.
Well, I got the sound working tonight, but actually, I'm glad I didn't just jump in and record. I did make one recording for a client of mine tonight, and I got in the bag and gave her just an instruction video how to use the software that we use on her website, and so I gave it some practice, but then I listened back later on to some of my level settings, and I was really amplifying some of the noise too much. I had a little bit too high a gain on some of the signal, and boy, it was noise galore. And these crummy, because I'm using a line in on the second computer. Those line ins, man, they are the noisiest inputs in the world. Computer noise.
Yeah, that's why generally, if you were in the old days, if you were trying when it was first starting to use digital, that's why they had those MIDI card interfaces.
Right. An external interface to bypass that computer noise.
They had it built into that card.
For one. I got an old what's the name of that armadillo? Yeah, armadillo.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yep, an armadillo. And
I was thinking Turtle Beach.
No, Armadillo was more along the line of Matrix.
This is a real expensive interface that was made for Windows 98. But then
that's
company went belly up and never made drivers for XP or Windows 7. Some people have attempted to build drivers, write drivers for the other machines. They've always been unstable to me, so. But I still have that Windows 98 machine. It still works perfectly.
What's not broke, don't fix.
That's right. In fact, it really just wows me every time I boot it up. It loads as if I had an SSD in there or something. It's just like, bloop, boom, your Windows, you're loaded. You know, it's like, wait a minute.
That's because that was competing against DOS back in those days.
Exactly. Heck, it was just a step above DOS.
Yeah, just barely.
Because Windows 95 was still just an overlay for DOS commands. It just DOS commands. It wasn't until Windows 98 that they really were a separate operating system.
Well, it's part of the reason they gave them so much headaches with Millennium is they were doing the transition from DOS to the same environment the Windows NT was using.
Yeah.
And they were trying to make it backward compatible to DOS at the same time.
Well, there was a real screw-up because Windows 2000 was just beautiful.
Oh, yeah. The only difference, it didn't have the automatic plug-and-play in a lot of features because of it.
Mm-hmm. I loved that, though. Gosh, I could make anything work in Windows 2000.
Yep.
And I held out to go to XP for quite a long time because Windows 2000 worked fine for me. And so but then they came out with that Millennium Edition, and it was like, let's dumb down Windows 2000, you know?
You know, I was in the beta test for that.
Oh.
And the stuff we kept telling them was still broken or not working right. Okay, yeah, all right, we'll look at it. And they released it with the worse version than the one they fixed during beta when they went to the hard disks for the when they went to stamp for the release edition.
Mm-hmm.
And that was doomed from the start of beta. Millennium really was.
Oh, jeez.
The fights between their testers and their developers and marketing were just. Marketing controlled the whole thing of Millennium, and it showed with every feedback we submitted.
Wow, that's ridiculous. Oh well.
Andrew's laughing. You didn't go through that, eh, Andrew?
No, I'm laughing at something that's just not happening here.
Well, that's right. Just make us feel like you're laughing at us.
Well,
He's
everybody
laughing
can
at
see
Michael.
it. It's just going on over on the event page.
Oh, on the event page.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I have the page handy right here. Let me see. Har? What? Oh, DOS is 2 in Spanish. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, Michael come in as soon as I leave, huh? You must think I don't watch this show. Or the comments, or he was right. All right.
I think he was waiting for you to read that before he did anything else after finishing eating while he's offline.
I'm going to hide. I'm going to hide so he can't see me.
Isn't that camera blank and mute sound fantastic, Terry?
No, I'm going to do something even better. I'm going to put up a black graphic and then share my screen, so it looks like and that's what I'll do. That'll throw him off. Don't worry, I know he's not listening because when he's eating, he's chewing. So the noise of chewing is so loud in his headphones, it completely obliterates being able to understand what anybody's saying. So, oh, he says, all right, he caught me. See?
I told you he was waiting for you to see that and respond before he joined us. Good evening, Michael.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening.
I am well, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to put this to a vote. Now that I showed what I wanted to show, should we keep this thing live, or can I just go ahead and end the live broadcast? It'll be recorded so people can see it, and we'll just have a thing.
Oh, heck, we're live?
Yeah.
I almost told a really dirty joke. I did not. That would have been embarrassing.
Yes. Well,
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
I would say that's your call on that, Andrew.
Well, I'm going to end the broadcast unless somebody's got something that they want to demonstrate. We can talk about stuff all night, but